Hey guys, what's up? Nick here once again. It's my first impressions of the Shadow X 70% compact hot swappable mechanical keyboard made by Epomaker. So let's get right into it. First things first, I want to give a huge shout out to Epomaker for sending me this review unit to test out for you guys for this video. I'll have a link in the description if you want to go check out this exact model for yourself. The link goes right to their website. It's not an affiliate link, so I'm not getting any compensation for it. It's just straight up, go check them out. Show them some love because they showed my channel enough love to send me a free review unit. So with that, this is the box that the Epomaker Shadow X comes in. Nothing too crazy or, fancy to show you, but I like that. It's very minimalist, and that's sort of the whole vibe they went with this keyboard. It's a very minimalist design, which I actually applaud them for. Now, along with the keyboard, of course, we do have some accessories that come in the box. We do get a nice braided USB-C cable. It's about 6 feet long, so I think it's about the right perfect length for anybody's keyboard. It could be a little bit longer, but honestly, for one that's included out of the box, this is just fine for most people. We also get one of those amazing keycap pullers. This is very nice if you want to be hot swapping your keyboard. So if you do buy some other type of switches or keycaps, you can easily remove them with this included tool. On the topic of switches, we also include a couple extra switches in case some of them break over time. So that is nice. They do include those in the box, as well as some extra keycaps to mess with the color scheme. So by default, it is an all gray and black design with the keycaps, but they do send you some yellow ones if you want to add some yellow accents, which is pretty cool. And with the accessories to the side, let's take a look at the actual main attraction here, the Shadow X keyboard. I really like the minimalist design they went with here. There's no fancy branding. You actually wouldn't even know this is an Epomaker keyboard until you took a look at the back. But for what it is on the front, I love this design. It's very premium, it feels very sturdy. I don't really feel any type of cheapness along the way, even though this is a all plastic design body. They even made the front plate here feel almost like aluminum, even though this is all plastic. So I gotta hand it to Epomaker for making a very, not only lightweight keyboard, but feeling very premium in the hands that can go toe to toe with $200 to $300 keyboards when this is actually going for under 100 USD. So very cool to see that. This is compatible with Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Android, and iOS operating systems, so you can use it for pretty much anything out there, which is really nice. You're not just limited to just Windows or just Mac or any of the other operating systems listed. You can use them with all of them. This keyboard is 1.7 pounds in weight, which might sound kind of heavy being almost 2 pounds, but to be honest with you, most mechanical keyboards out there, especially if they have aluminum plates or anything like that, you are going to run above 2 pounds. So being under 2 pounds is really nice for portability, and being that this is marketed as a wireless keyboard, both with Bluetooth and USB, it's really nice to see a more lighter approach to it. And again, it is an all plastic design, which does help with the weight, but thankfully they did not have to compromise on its durability by making it a little bit lighter. When it comes to flex or creaking or instability of its design, I gotta say, it does have a little bit of flex if you really try to flex it, but there is no creaking whatsoever. I don't feel like this is gonna shatter on me or split apart. So it is a very durable feeling keyboard, very premium feeling for its price range. So again, good on you, Epomaker. It does have an internal 3000 mAh battery, which is pretty large for most wireless keyboards. They are rating it up to 44 hours on a single charge if you do run it with RGB turned off. From what I've seen online, most people get anywhere from 30 to 35 hours on a single charge if they do leave RGB on at 50% or lower in terms of its brightness. So that is really good to see. That's honestly a really good battery life for most wireless keyboards. And talking about wireless, of course, we do have Bluetooth 5.0 installed, as well as USB 2.4 gigahertz connection. The USB connection is a little bit more stable and a little bit better range, but the Bluetooth is no slouch at 5.0. And the other really cool thing is it does connect up to 3 Bluetooth devices at once. No, you can't use all 3 devices at once with one connection, but you can switch between them on the fly, which is really nice. So if you're like me and you want to use it with a Steam Deck or maybe a portable tablet as well as your PC from time to time, you can switch between them on the fly, which is really cool. And the other big feature of the Shadow X is this tiny little 1-inch display. It is a vertical display, which is kind of unique. Most of these displays I've been seeing on keyboards recently are either a perfect square or a landscape view. So seeing it vertical actually fits the keyboard a little better in my opinion. It doesn't really stick out or feel out of place. It's just kind of there. But the nice thing about this is not only can you see some important information at a glance, such as the time, the date, your current battery life, or which connection you are connected to at the moment, but you can also add any type of personal artwork or GIFs or images to this little display, which is pretty fun to mess around with and to make it more personalized. And how do you add images, you may ask? There actually is a built-in software that comes with the keyboard you can find on Epomaker's website. And in the software, it's super easy to navigate, comes with a lot of different options to customize your keyboard. You can adjust macros and all that good stuff from here, as well as, of course, the RGB effects. The RGB effects range from anything from a ripple effect to a simple glow or just a static color. You can mess with it to your heart's content, and it has pretty much every type of effect under the sun that you can think of. And of course, you can customize them to your own liking, which is really nice to see. And the coolest thing is you can even add your own images to that color display, like I stated earlier. And not only that, but built into the software, they have their own little drawing pad. So you can use your mouse to create images if you're a really good artist, and you can upload them right to that screen and have it to show to your friends. There's also even like a little social media tab in there as well, so you can upload your own images to there to have other people download it and mess around with, or you can download other people's images and add it to your keyboard. And that also goes for custom macros and custom settings, so other people can upload their settings to the social media aspect portal of the software. You can download them and add them to your own keyboard if you're too lazy to go and set them up yourself. So that's just really cool. Speaking of the RGB, the LEDs are actually south-facing, which they are pretty bad for shine-through keycaps. If you are using anything like that, you will need north-facing LEDs. However, the ones pre-installed here are just fine because they're not shine-through. And the benefit to having south-facing LEDs is the placement ensures that the lighting is directed towards the user. So you're going to have more of a brighter output of RGB effects, whereas a northern LED wouldn't shine through as well when you have non-shine-through keycaps. This overall leads to better visibility at night and a more immersive typing experience. The RGB itself is extremely bright, and of course, like I said, you have many options within the software, which is really cool to see. And as you can see, you can also switch between them on the fly without using the software if you want to just use the built-in display, which is really cool, but it is kind of tedious having to switch between these and mess with them without going into the software. It's just a much easier experience, but it's nice to know that if you are on the go without a computer, without the software built in, you can change all of the RGB effects right on the fly. One thing to note as well with this rotating knob that I stated earlier, it is not a multimedia knob, which is kind of a bummer because I've been getting very used to most keyboards nowadays releasing with some type of multimedia knob or buttons, and to not have anything of the sort on the Shadow X is really a downside in my opinion. I like this knob, it's very tactile, it's very easy to switch between the different modes right on the fly very easily, and it's got a nice, very thick, like, actuation point, if that makes sense. You can really feel it when you rotate between the different options, but I would have much preferred some type of multimedia knob in its place if that was my choice. And then maybe having this some type of switch up here or something where it just wasn't on the front face, that would have been better. But I do understand they wanted to really put forth this point that you can switch between the 2.4 gigahertz connection and the 3 different Bluetooth options right on the fly. So it is what it is. We also do have a middle mounted USB-C port at the top of the keyboard, as you can see here. This is for, of course, if you're going to be using your keyboard wired like I normally do with these keyboards. I do like that they have the wireless options, but I am a sucker for wired because I do have a coiled cable, which I love showing off. However, the fact that this is a middle mounted USB-C port, it is kind of awkward if you do have a coiled cable. It just doesn't fit as nicely on a table. I would have loved to see a right-sided mount for the USB-C port, or maybe just give an option to left or right. So being in the middle is kind of odd. It's also really unique to me that it's more on the top and not at this, I don't know what you call this, just this down section you can see here. They actually have a spot to hide the USB dongle for the wireless connectivity. As you can see here, it is nice that you can house it right on the keyboard, but I would have liked or actually preferred the USB-C port being down here so it's a little bit more hidden and out of the way instead of sticking up on this top layer. So just something they could look into maybe for a future iteration. One thing I really do like is the feet that are adjustable on the bottom. So going to the back here, we do have some rubberized pads on the left side and on the bottom and on the right side, which is nice. So if you don't want to use the feet propped up, there is still a little bit of a grip to keep it from sliding around on the table. But of course, we do have the adjustable feet, which have 2 settings of height adjustment, which is awesome. I've been saying this all too many times with recent keyboard reviews where they only will adjust to 1 height setting, which is just stupid in my opinion. If you're going to give us some type of height adjustment, at least give us options. So I like that we have 2 different settings here for the feet. So we have the middle ground and then we have the full height adjustment, which is my preferred typing experience. And on the bottom of both of the feet adjustments, we have little rubber pads as well to help deviate any type of movement of the keyboard. But other than that, on the back, we just have the sticker showcasing the model of the keyboard and that it is made by Epomaker. The included keycaps are double shot PBT keycaps. They're very high quality, and I really like the font they chose with these ones as well. They're pretty easy to see even in dimly lit situations, so I don't really have any complaints whatsoever. And I have really come to like the gray and black aesthetics of the color scheme, even though I thought it would be kind of too drab or bland for me, but overall, I'm really enjoying these keycaps. This is also a hot swappable PCB, so you can remove these switches very easily and swap them out to your heart's content, which is always fun to see on these mechanical keyboards. And again, with the included switch puller, it's super easy to remove switches to replace them to your heart's content. And my model here came with the Wisteria linear switches. They got this nice like lavender color to them, and they are very linear, very nice and silent, which I really prefer. But if you want other ones or clicky switches for that matter, they do have a ton of different options on Epomaker's website when you are picking out the Shadow X. This is a gasket mounted mechanical keyboard with a pour-on foam layer and bottom silicone pad to achieve a soft and smooth typing experience. The Shadow X comes with pre-lubed stabilizers and switch pads included as well, and with these additions, the noise is very reduced and stability is enhanced for a very smooth typing experience. In my typing experience, the stabilizers feel amazing and the sound is extremely thocky. If you would like a nice thock, this is the keyboard for you. Me personally, I'm more of a linear silent switch guy and a linear silent keyboard in general. To where I don't like waking up my neighbors or anything when I'm typing, but I know there's a lot of people out there that like a lot of sound coming from their keyboards, and I gotta say, the sound that emanates from this thing just sounds amazing. So let's give you guys a sound test so you can see for yourself, or hear for yourself. And the last little thing I'll talk about with the Shadow X is that this is a 70% mechanical gaming keyboard. If people don't know what that means, essentially it's just a smaller form factor than a full keyboard. As you can see, there's no F row, so you're going to have to use the function key to get to the F row button, so you're not out of the water there. And it's same when it comes to multimedia. You can go into the software and mess around with that to say which function button you want to use, or the menu button to essentially change any of the multimedia buttons at your heart's content. You also still have dedicated buttons for the insert, delete, home, end, and page down buttons. Kind of weird there's no page up. I kind of thought that was funny because they had to put up space, I guess, for that rotating knob. But again, if it was up to me, I probably would have just removed the knob altogether and just had a page up button and then had a switch up here for the different wireless options. Not the end of the world by any means, but it's just something I wanted to note when it comes to the design of the Shadow X. But overall, I absolutely love this thing. It's a very sleek and minimal design, which isn't super eye-catching, but it's not meant to be. It's got very nice flow when it comes to the typing experience with great travel. I also really love the thocky sound that emanates from it, even though I'm not a huge sound guy when it comes to keyboards. I like them being very quiet, but the thockiness is very addicting to listen to, and the RGB effects really shine through on this keyboard. The LEDs are very bright and vivid, and especially in a darkly lit room, they really shine through to where you don't have to worry about not being able to see your keycaps at night. So with that, thank you so much for watching my video unboxing and first impressions of the Epomaker Shadow X. If you would like to check this out, I'll have a link in the description below. Again, not affiliated in any way, and this was not a sponsored video, but this was sent to me for free from Epomaker, so I want to show them all the love that I can. So with that, if you liked the video, make sure to leave a like, share, support. As always, subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and we'll hopefully see you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.